In this video, I'll be taking our model that we created our last video, the 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch cube, and making some new features on it. We're going to start off by putting a hole in the top of the shape. The way we're going to do this is we're going to just click the Start Sketch button, and instead of having our planes show to us, we can select any surface of our cube. I'm going to select the top. I'm then going to pan over so it's centered with me, or I could click on top and it would auto-center. I'm going to draw a circle by selecting the circle tool. I'm going to put a circle somewhere inside this square. Now, I can now escape out of that, and I have my circle. Unfortunately, the circle is not locked down by anything. I can move it anywhere I want, and that's never a good thing. We want to make sure every sketch we make in Inventor is fully constrained. That is, that it turns black. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to set a dimension. I'm going to dimension the circle size to be 0.5, so half an inch. I'm then going to dimension the center of the circle to the right side to be 0.5 inches. If I hit escape, I can see that my circle can only go up and down now. It cannot move left and right or resize. And now, in order to lock our circle completely, I'm going to use a relational dimension. I'm going to select the horizontal tool, and I'm going to select the center of this line and the center of our circle. And that's going to lock our circle in place. Notice the circle turned black. If I finish sketch, I now have a square with a circle on top. In order to turn it into a cylinder, or a cutaway cylinder actually, I'm going to click extrude, and it select the circle automatically. That's the only profile I had. I'm going to make it into a cut, so I'm going to look down here and change the operation from join to cut. And I'm going to set the distance to through all, which is this button here. Hit OK, and I move my cube around. You can see I now have a hole in my cube. Now let's go make some modifications. Let's go back to our extrusion 1 that's in our model browser and expand it out. I can see it's made up of a single sketch. I'm going to change the size of the sketch to be 0.5 by 0.5, or sorry, 0.75 by 0.75. If I finish sketch, you'll notice the shape automatically changed. Now, this circle didn't stay centered, but if I double click on the extrusion and I change this size to 0.75, you'll notice the circle stayed centered on this axis, but not this axis. And that's because when I go into that sketch, I used a numeric dimension here. If I delete that dimension and switch it to be a vertical constraint from the top of the square to the center of the circle, now no matter what size I change, if I go back and make this back to being a 1 inch by 1 inch, the circle is going to stay centered inside that area. Take the extrusion back to 1 inch. And that's how I have a circle with edge in it. The other thing we can do to modify our parts is we can apply some 3D features like fillets. Fillets round edges. So I click on the edge, I can make that radius really small, or really small, or quite big. Let's go 0.1. I can also fillet outside edges and get a nice, neat, rounded look. So I go through, I can click on all my edges, and it will select everything. I can even select the edge that are hidden by knowing roughly where they should be in space. So now I have 2 fillets. One fillet is just the top, the other ones are the sides. If I change the radius here, they will all update automatically to follow.